This is how I was able to request a 10K payout on my Top Step Live account, and today I'm gonna go over with you guys the exact trading strategy that I utilize to do so. So here's just some proof before we get into today's video, of course, because you want to verify everything before you just blindly follow and listen to somebody on the internet. So here you go. Here's proof of my payouts here on my Top Step Live account. Just recently, I requested this today in a total amount of 10.911. That is before the payout profit split, by the way, and the fees. So yeah, there's proof there of my payouts or my payout from Top Step recently. And I'm gonna go over basically all the trades that took up until payout day. I believe I have 3 of the days recorded here. The other trades I've already made trade recaps on. So yeah, let's get straight into it. All right, so the first setup I was taking was just a straight up continuation setup. So if I go back in time here, right over here, and you see this is a continuation. Basically, you always want to identify the trend first whenever you're trading. And in this case, or this situation, the trend was clearly bullish. We're going to the top right on my screen, right? So I don't want to overcomplicate trading or make it complicated, right? I'm following structure, market structure, higher lows, higher highs, and I'm also following my daily bias indicator. Again, if you want access to the indicator, link is down below on my website. You can get access to all 7. But basically, I was looking for my stop hunter setup here. If you know, you know. Look for an internal low that puts in a new high. So this internal low puts in this new high. And so what I'm seeing or waiting on is price to take out this internal low and then go higher, making a new internal high following this current trend, as you can see. Now, there are some confluences that go against this setup, which is we're too high up in premium. So what does that mean? Well, first off, we already took out previous day high, and then we took out another high, and we also took out another high. So the fact that we are going higher and higher like this, in terms of going deeper into premium, that does lower the probability of stop hunter, because at some point price does have to go for the main setup or aka 50% retracement, something like this, for example, and it has to mitigate something here before going higher again. So yeah, this is the only really anti-confluence here that goes against this trade here. But basically, I entered here on the candle closure here. There might have been a PY. Let me see if there's a PY. There's no PY on the 5 minute. Yeah, entered on candle closure here, and then my target was just a high there. Again, you can set your limit order at the internal low there if you want as well, but the RR was worse here. So I was willing to wait to see if I can get a deeper, better retracement price point. There's also a POC here that got hit. So if you want to use a POC here, you can. That stands for point of control. If you don't know how to specifically identify a point of control from a technical standpoint, you should watch the course videos, because I do have multiple videos in the course going over POC and how to really identify them from a technical standpoint. Now, my stop loss is very simple, covering the low here of this POI or flip, and target was this next high for 3.69 RR. Now, obviously, I got wigged out pretty quickly. Did go about 1 RR in profit, so I could have secured that, but took a loss there. And basically, once I took this loss, I was waiting for price to go for we had this 30-minute demand. So let me see, 31st. Okay, cool. I found the 31st. If you go on ES here on the 31st, this is my demand zone here. This is on a 30-minute time frame, as you can see. And that's basically where I was looking for price to draw towards before looking for an expansion or a continuation to the upside. So that was a PY here on the higher time frame. And you can check the timestamps here if you want. Yep, it was this PY. And you can even refine it if you want to. It's 1 minute refinement here. You can. This is the one where you want it 1 minute refine. And anyway, regardless, once the 30-minute PY gets hit, I'm looking for a trade to the upside. So what I was looking at here was NQ did not go to that PY yet. And NQ, I believe, let's see, was there a 30-minute demand on NQ? There was not, from what I see here. Let's go on the 5 minute. There's a 4 minute and a 5 minute here. So basically, my view here in terms of price was that I'm gonna follow the trend on the right, because what you notice here is this stop hunter failed. But look at what happened here. We mitigated this PY and we failed to make a new high here. So this creates a failed break of structure after this low that failed to make a new high gets broken. So we have a failed break of structure here to the downside. And so basically what this signals to me is I should be looking for shorts here towards some demand zone. And so basically here, there's no setup here I think I took. Yeah, there's no setup I took here. I don't see any setup here anyway. You would never be taking, I'd never be taking something like this, because this is already in discount, right? You see how we're already in discount here. It doesn't make any sense to be taking a trade here. If you were to take a trade, you should be up or higher in premium. by the end of the day, this is usually a setup I usually would not take personally. So I would have missed out on that just because the range is quite small, to be honest. And I was basically looking for a stop hunter here to the downside. So this is my stop hunter. We have a bullish candle as our internal pullback high, made a new low, and so again, same pattern here. Doesn't really matter how it delivers towards here. Ideally, you want stop hunters to deliver like this, where it does a sharp, clean move to take out the liquidity point, but it can also at times do something like this, where it creates like an OB or some other IFE setup towards taking out that internal high. But it's still a valid setup to me. And stop loss, I basically put it around 50% of this candle here, because if I have my stop loss covering a candle wick, which is what I usually cover, the RR is really bad. So based on my backtested data, it proves to me that ideally halving my stop loss size to sacrifice for a 7% lower difference in win rate in this setup, but doubling the RR, it makes a huge expectancy difference in terms of my EV. So I do perform much better trading with these tighter stop losses. So I entered here with limit order and I covered 50% in here, and I just targeted the low for 3 RR. So you can see it played out pretty quickly here. Didn't take too long, 20-ish minutes, a little bit longer than usual for a stop hunter setup, but again, keep in mind this is a session at the end of the day. So now what I realized here is you can see the exact time. ES hit 30-minute demand at 10:34. 10:34 was around here. So this is when I labeled on my chart and noticed ES hit the 30-minute demand I was looking at. So ES hit 30-minute demand here, and look at this. You see how we already mitigated demand here on NQ, but you see how at this time, 9:43, this is another thing you can use as confluence. Look at where ES was at 9:43. ES was here. So ES was still bringing structure essentially to the downside. It has not hit a demand zone yet. And so because it's still bringing structure to the downside, it's more than likely this first move on NQ is going to be a fake out. AKA it's going to cause an internal sweep or a manipulation move, which is exactly what happened here. So this is why NQ, instead of going for maybe like something down here, which is very far away from price, right? You have your inducement here, like you have everything here already. You don't have to consider this inducement if you don't want to, but at the end of the day, everything is already here in terms of structure. Price is trading up here, so you should not be looking too far away. Down here makes no sense. If price truly wants to be bullish, it would not go all the way down here. It would stay up here or take out maybe this low here. But you can see clearly because ES mitigate 30-minute demand, this became your internal sweep on NQ as your manipulation move. Again, you don't always have to take the first entry on every single PY, okay? So you guys have a low win rate because maybe you're taking every single potential entry on every single PY. You need to be more selective and filter them out when there's higher probabilities or more confluences in your favor. And in this case, there was not many confluences. If NQ mitigated here and ES didn't mitigate anything here at all, this is more than likely a fake out move. So that's why I take advantage of this fake out move to take the stop hunter down, to stop you out taking long. And then once ES hits that 30-minute demand, I'm looking for my move, right? I'm looking for my trade. So there, boom, there it is. And stop loss at the low. And I think this trade took a while, I'm not gonna lie, but I sent this out to the Discord as well. I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick while this trade is running. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Okay, send a screenshot real quick. But yeah, you can see the trade clearly played out here. And here's a screenshot from my private Discord. If you guys want to join, the link is down below. You also get access to us as a private mentorship student and course member for a lifetime. But here is my JTrade's execution channel, private channel. I told everyone my draw on liquidity was a such a high up here, okay? And you can see before and after it played out. So there's also multiple setups also you could have taken going towards that draw if you miss this initial setup. There are certain trades or setups you could have taken during this. Now, granted, this is consolidation. I recommend you avoid this. But if you took a trade before that, there's a setup here, there's a setup here. There's also not a great setup here. I probably wouldn't be taking a continuation like this, but there's an OB continuation model there. And there's even another setup here after we take out a session high to go even further higher, which you can see, you know, I missed out on a lot of P&L. So yeah, it ran 18R plus. I'm gonna make a separate video, honestly, going over the other 2 days, just because I realized this video is gonna go on for much longer than I expected. So yeah, I'll be doing that there. And also to combine two videos in one, basically, because I am doing a Tradeify Road to Payout series on my channels. Episode 1 was like 2 days ago or 1 day ago, but yeah. Anyway, I have a screenshot from that I saved up on my second green day on the Tradeify accounts. So you can see I have 550Ks, the Grow Sim funded account, and I believe it was on this day that I secured my second green day. So taking these trades, secure my second green day here, and that's what my dashboard looks like on Tradeify. And if you're wondering what I use to copy trade, I am not a direct affiliate, okay, but they are called TradeSyncer. I'd highly recommend. I don't have a code yet. I'm gonna ask them to see if I can get like a direct affiliation with them, so I can give you guys some coupon code or discount you guys can use. But yeah, I do use TradeSyncer now to copy all my funded accounts together. And of course, I trade my personal account completely separate from the copier. But that's a video, or that's a topic for a whole different video. But yeah, just some proof here of everything here. Again, top step payout plus second green day on the Tradeify accounts, and the next trades I'll be going over will be considered as part of day 3 of the Tradeify accounts. So yeah, look forward to seeing that next episode, and I'll see you guys in the next video. If you want to learn more from me, link is down below. Course, mentorship, 1 spot remaining. Catch y'all in the next video. Peace.